Veni, Vidi, Vici. Julius Caesar.
Nailed it, bud.
Meaning, I came, I saw, I conquered.
He sure did.
Yes, he did. He conquered a lot.
Lots. Right when I heard Veni, I was like, Like right away, I was like, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Veni.
That is a good one.
Although they wouldn't say it like how Italians would nowadays.
It was all like Latin and shit, so.
Yeah, it'd have been like an older Latin.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who really knows?
No one. No one.
I, for one, do know.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, me and Caesar.
Word? How'd you get in with him?
I want to talk about it.
Wait. Ooh, Matt, is that what I think it is? Oh.
It's probably worse.
Oh no.
Sacrifices must be made.
Oh no.
Even if it's at the cost of my rectum. What the fuck?
Oh my god. I was trying to remember what that thing that we did for the podcast before.
What?
When we were talking about the
Oh god. No. No. Hey man.
Hey man.
You know, a little bit of discomfort for many lifetimes of prosperity.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay. Well, anyways.
I think I want to do this podcast standing up, actually. I don't want to sit down.
Kind of hurts. You need a donut? Yeah. She's like, wait, why do you have a donut?
Yeah, why do you have one?
Boo.
Got him.
Got him, coach. Anyways. As you guys know, we will be talking about Rome, Julius Caesar, and the fall of one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. Yeah. Greatest being, what's that word?
Subjective.
Yeah, thank you. So, being very subjective, but nonetheless was one of the greatest empires to have ever been built.
No doubt.
By a single entity. Somewhat entity.
Yeah, good enough.
Anyways, so let's get right into it.
Let's dive in.
I am Makali.
And I am Maticus.
Oh, good. All right. Roll that intro. Yeah. Big Effin Nerds.
What are you doing?
I'm maybe listening to our old podcast episode because I want to know what that reference was for.
Oh, what the fuck? I have an idea.
Oh, I remember. I remember what it's from.
What was it?
Et tu, brute.
Oh, no. Et tu, brute.
Julius Caesar was stabbed multiple times. By what, we don't know.
All we know is he was stabbed.
All we know he was stabbed.
The weapon of choice is up for debate.
To be determined.
Yes. Jury's still out on that one.
We didn't have a dead body to do an autopsy on, so.
Yeah. Whether it was a steel sword or a pork sword. Who's to say?
Or sausage.
Mm-hmm. Or a spicy Italian sausage.
Oh, God. All right, Matt.
Woo! I'm ready that time. I was like, which way's it coming from?
Which way do I go?
Smack.
All right.
Let me learn you something.
All right, fine, do it.
Did you know?
Probably.
No, you did.
Oh, okay.
That I hope not. That's gonna suck if you did. That before Julius Caesar invaded Brittany, I think as it was maybe called Britannia back then. Many Romans didn't believe it actually existed. Caesar was the first ever Roman to invade Britain. He did it twice in the years 55 and 54 BC. Some Romans believed Britain to be just the foot of another huge northern continent. Others thought it was a place full of unbelievable riches, while most just straight up thought it didn't exist.
What a world to be living in to where you could look at a piece of land, or not even look of a piece of land, but say that there's a piece of land over there, and there's still people thinking, no, I don't think so. I think you're lying.
Excuse me, Jesus.
But just to think about the idea of not understanding of a whole world out there,
how
a whole planet,
how unimaginably larger the world was before you could just hop on a plane and go. You know, back when like you didn't really leave maybe more than a few miles outside of your town, village, whatever the fuck, because I mean, for what?
For why?
Yeah, it's just gonna take a long time to get back, like a really fucking long time. And you know, you should have everything you need. Well, hopefully.
Back then, they probably did roughly shelter, food. Yeah. I mean, they did their own gardening,
right,
and things of that nature. So,
well,
pretty much everyone was a farmer.
Yeah, I mean, you had to be. There was no. I mean, there was like you could go buy food from places like in the cities.
If you're in the city states.
Yeah, but like, if not, you had to be a farmer, like, or else. It's just like back, I guess back in any time there were farmers doing that. Like you couldn't hire help, so you made it. That's why people had so many kids, because you just make your own help.
Yeah,
yeah. And it makes me think of like Columbus, how he came to America and was like, "This is India," and they were like, "Nope." And he went, "Yeah, you guys are Indians. You guys are Indians. Fuck that."
You know, it's hilarious to me when people do. Obviously, you're gonna clown on Columbus because we have the knowledge, but back in the day, no one clowned on him. That dude sailed across the entire ocean to get to a place.
A big one.
Whether or not you commend him or even just look down on him for what he did eventually, or what his people did eventually, he still did something incredibly hard.
Oh, sure.
Sailing the open ocean is not what probably was not an easy task then.
No, definitely.
Even now, seeing some of the videos of people on ships nowadays, I think to myself, holy shit.
Yeah.
Those are some fucking huge waves.
Oh, God.
And the ships we have nowadays are way bigger than what they had.
Oh, yeah. And there's not some poor dickhead who has to climb up and fucking start reeling in ropes and sails and shit.
Oh, yeah. It took time. It took time to prepare for certain oceans. Yeah. Insane. Whether, like I said, may have been a shitty dude, but the amount of cojones the guy had to have in order to do such a trip without any knowledge of what was over there, or even if it was the right place, still fucking insane.
Yeah. But he's like, I found America, and Vikings were like,
no, we got there first.
We did that. We just didn't we didn't tell anybody, and we didn't really fuck with anybody. We're like, ah, sweet.
Yeah, Vikings very kept to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they showed up and were like, wow.
Until Rome came in there and was like, fuck you, Vikings!
Give me your shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were very disciplined soldiers, the Roman Empire, ancient Rome.
Yep.
Very disciplined. Probably one of the most in regards to overall soldiers of history.
I'd say that's probably a safe bet.
Yeah. We think Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs are pretty tough. Don't get me wrong. They're disciplined as fuck. Mm-hmm. They weren't carrying around
literally their lives.
Yeah, like hundreds of pounds of armor on them.
Their armor, their backpack, which had or whatever food they're going to need. Everyone's bringing their own food. There's no, I mean, sure, maybe there's some people trailing behind you cooking and stuff, but like really, you got your own food. You got to have this much amount of flour, make your own fucking bread. Mm-hmm. However often you do that, make your own bread, make your own fucking food. They would get like the blood sausage, I think, too, from what I read before.
Blood sausage?
Yeah, that was a thing that was supposed to like a.
Was it
longer
actual
shelf
pork?
life? It was actually just like blood sausage. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Never had it.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I've had about that. Oh. Just that I've heard they're like, yeah, they eat fucking blood sausage.
This is where ChatGPT comes into play.
What the fuck is blood sausage?
Blood. But what I was gonna say is that this episode And next week's episode is going to be a very special kind of episode. Me and Matt have been in talks a while ago about him kind of hosting. I'll still be here, but he's going to be doing a vast majority of the teaching, the lesson, quote unquote, as you will, of whatever subject. Couldn't really think of a subject to do. He didn't really think of one until we came up with the idea of talking about the fall of Rome.
Yep.
With that in mind, I asked him if we want to do it, like, because he wants to do a two-parter, because it is a lot of information. There's tons of stuff you could look at for this subject.
Yeah, like honestly, a two-parter. If we wanted to like thoroughly cover it, we could be here for days.
As much as we can for roughly an hour.
Yeah.
So I asked Matt if he would like to do his history lesson. His history, this is him being premature history teacher. So he said, fuck it, why not? So
let's do it.
He will be doing a lot of the talking in regards to the subject. I will be asking questions. We will also be verifying certain things through ChatGPT and online. While he's reading through certain things, we might come back and revisit a subject and give you more information about what we find.
Yep.
So, figure we do that, and yeah.
Seems like a blast.
You ready to start, Matt?
Yep.
Hell yeah, brother.
You got your notebook. You got your number 2 pencil.
Yeah. And my markers.
And your markers. You got your pencil sharpener and your eraser. What?
I forgot my sharpener at home.
That's okay.
Do you have an extra one?
Yeah, you can use one. Not right now.
Oh.
Do you need it right now?
Yeah, I have unsharpened pencils. You said if I had a number 2 pencil. Okay. I have a number 2 pencil. It's just not sharpened.
Get the fucking sharpener. Shut up.
The patience for kids.
Over. Over. It's over.
The tiniest little fuse. It might be just.
Fuck. Dumb idiot. Fuck. All right. So let's do this. So, okay, Fall of Rome. Let's go over some basic facts about the fall of sort of about the fall of Rome and just Rome in general, Roman Empire. So ultimately, I would say we think generally. Well, I have a list of like 8 things that are kind of considered to be like the falls of Rome. I probably might not hit all of them today because I got a lot of shit, but I'm gonna go over some of that too. So I think one of the biggest contributors to the fall of Rome, people seem to agree upon, is just numerous barbarian invasions.
Yeah, numerous. Germanics, the Celts, I believe, were also part of that.
I think, but yeah, the Germanic ones being like the big one. Yeah, those guys were a problem.
Immediately north of
right.
Or they were kind of like within, because they got pushed out for a while, and then they eventually started basically congregating with other tribes, and they built like this bigger Germanic tribe, and then started pushing back. Right. So that was the main issue. Is they had multiple.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and another one being just the fucking absolutely colossal size of their empire. It just became too big.
They had a Western and Eastern empire.
Yeah, that was eventually towards the end. There was a Western and Eastern, and then I think the West had just died off. And I think East is the one that lasted for like another 1,000 years after that.
That was the one that turned into like the Byzantine Empire, and I think if I'm timeline wise, if that's what I'm thinking of, it eventually came to that.
Yeah.
The main one we're obviously going to focus on is the Western Empire, because that was the one that like Julius Caesar had ruled, and that one eventually fell. But yes, the other one lasted for like thousands of years.
Like after West just fell, East kept going for like another 1,000 years, and that's when it wasn't the same Rome, you know. Roman Empire used to be like, oh god, but then after that, the Roman Empire was like, oh, get those guys out of here.
Yeah, essentially.
Get the fuck out of here, kilt when you skirt wearing, son of a bitch. It also it saw its territorial peak when it was at its largest in 117 AD under the rule of Emperor Trajan. Trajan. That's
spelled how?
Trajan.
I
almost said Trojan, but nope.
I honestly was thinking, could it have led to Trojan stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, but Trajan, yeah. 117 AD. And it was like, I don't have a picture of the map on me, but I saw it, and it was just like, here's Italy, and it's just like all this shit up here.
I'll throw it up later for you guys to see. So
thanks, bud. Coming down all the way in the fucking southern part.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Northern Africa and everything like that. Yeah. Yep.
It's too much. Its borders stretched from Britain to Syria. Which is fucking massive.
Yeah, if you guys don't know where Syria is, go look on a map. It's pretty
far from Britain.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was its borders stretching from there to there, which means it is extremely difficult to keep in communication with the whole empire. You know, it could take weeks or longer to what?
You didn't have emails back in the day, so
we got a fucking pigeon.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like 8 dudes on a horse fucking stringing them along or something.
Yep.
Yeah, so it could take weeks or longer to travel from the frontier to the capital. Fucking, so, yeah, pretty hard to keep up, you know, when you're basically hearing everything a fucking month late.
Yeah, like almost, you said 8 weeks?
It just said weeks, that's all.
It
could take weeks.
So, yeah, because then that would start you thinking, say the Senate makes a decision, they write down, tell the decision to come back, then another weeks later, go back to the Senate, and the Senate's like, oh, never mind, we changed that.
Back down.
Yeah.
Get back on your horse and go back down south.
I mean, maybe if they had emails, maybe if they had phones, they probably would have lasted a lot longer. Who knows?
I mean, certainly. Well, there's a lot that comes into play later. Corruption being a big one.
Definitely.
They really just shot themselves in the foot over and over.
What's new?
I don't know. All right. So yeah, now let's go into these 8, or at least some of these 8 main reasons of the fall of Rome.
Mm.
Like I said, the invasions of the barbarian tribes. So most straightforward theory for Western Rome's collapse.
Mm-hmm.
On a string of military losses sustained against outside forces, Rome had tangled with Germanic tribes. We were saying they were the big one. Germanic tribes for centuries, but by the 300s, barbarian groups like the Goths, Visigoths, Goths, all that shit.
Yep, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Rome didn't. Well, no, they remembered.
They remembered heavily.
Every time they're like, oh god, they're back.
Black eyeliner, black hair,
axe,
metal. It's not that type of Goths. So go
studded bracelets, belts, deathlock down the middle. Metal.
Fucking yeah, the spiked wristbands.
Yeah. Combat boots.
Oh god, fishnet stockings.
Yeah. Yeah. Big old shit kicker boots with like buckles and shit. Give me your pasta.
Give me your pasta.
That's all I could think of. I don't think Romans even really ate pasta.
I don't know. I think pasta was a little later.
That's all I could think of. We're on Alfredo now.
Give me the pizza.
Huh?
We said you said you had pizza.
The fuck is pizza?
Get cazzo! Oh my god! What language you speaking about?
Fucking get the fuck out!
Oh, god.
Anyway, all right. All right. So the Goths had encroached. Goths had encroached beyond the empire's borders. The Romans weathered a Germanic uprising in the late 4th century. But in 410, the Visigoth, King Alaric, heard a lot about this guy. King Alaric successfully sacked the city of Rome.
Who is King Alaric?
He was. Let me double check where he exactly was from, because I heard a lot about him.
So King Alaric the First, also known as Alaric the Visigoth.
Oh,
yeah, the Visigoth,
the guy,
was a 5th century ruler of the Visigoth kingdom. He is notably remembered for sacking Rome in 410 AD, an event that marked a significant moment in the decline of the Western Roman Empire.
Sure did.
So, essentially, he's a king. Mm-hmm. You could say he's a king or an earl.
Definitely. But yeah, he came and motherfucked Rome. But I think it was pretty short-lived. Unless I'm thinking of a different sacking, because there's a few times Rome got sacked. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was pretty short-lived. He just kind of blazed through, sacked it for a few days, and was like, I'm fucking out of here. So after that, the empire spent the next several decades under constant threat before, quote-unquote, the Eternal City was raided again in 455.
Is that what they called Rome, the Eternal City?
Yeah.
Yeah, not so eternal now. I mean, well, it's still there.
Yeah.
Technically.
Didn't age well.
Speaking. Rome was actually kind of nice. Oh, it didn't age well in regards to it being a fucking kingdom.
Eternal, yeah.
It just, it's actually a nice little city.
Oh, yeah. And it's one thing I learned, a little side fact here, was about, we have these pictures of ancient Rome, white marble, fucking everything, white marble, pillars, just everything very austere, plain, white, whatever. Yeah. And that was most likely not the case. Romans fucking loved color. But the reason why we see these, like, some of these temples or buildings, whatever, that are just white and stripped, and why they look like shit and like pockmarked rock and stuff, is because after Rome had fallen, people came and took all the fucking marble and was like, I'm getting at it. They stripped it. Yeah, they stripped it. So that's why we see these buildings like, that doesn't look like how I thought it would. That's why. Because they just stripped all the resources from it. We'll take that.
Yeah, might as well take all the money you can get or all the resources.
And they sure did. So, raided, the Eternal City, as I said, was raided again in 455, this time by the Vandals. That's an apt name.
The Vandals?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, because that's like their culture, but they vandalized Rome,
Kind of just like...
That's got to be where that word comes from.
What? Apt?
Vandal. You vandal.
Yeah, probably.
It's got to be.
Because, I mean, every word has an origin.
Yep.
There's reasons why certain words have certain meanings. I wouldn't doubt that was probably them. Yep. This is just to give a quick rundown of the Vandals. The Vandals were a Germanic people who played in a role of the decline in the 5th century under King Genseric.
Let me see.
Genseric?
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Genseric?
I think.
The Vandals invaded and captured Rome in 455 AD, causing considerable damage. They established the Vandal Kingdom in North Africa, which lasted until the Byzantine reconquest. So it sounds like the Eastern Empire eventually came back and was like, "What'd you do to our Western guys?" Oh no, give it back.
We didn't. We didn't know. Fucking rock.
Yeah, the Vandals were another Germanic people.
Yeah. All right. So after that, in 476, the Germanic leader.
Oh, is it funky?
Had glasses.
Oh, it's a funky name.
It's Odoacer.
Odoacer.
Yeah.
Odoacer.
That works for me.
Odoacer.
Yeah, he staged a revolt and deposed Emperor Romulus Augustulus.
That's a similar name, or that's a name.
That's the name. Yeah, Romans loved their hoity-toity fucking names.
Hoity-toity. Romulus was, who was it? Romulus was the guy who they named Rome after.
Yeah, Romulus and Remus.
Is that the same one?
No, I don't believe that's well. There's still debate whether Romulus and Remus were actually real. Because the story Romulus and Remus.
Romulus was supposed to be like some demigod.
Yeah, Romulus and Remus, raised by she-wolf or something.
Yeah,
which I actually watched something about that. They're like, because that's pretty, pretty steeped in myth. That story.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so like there was someone who was like, yeah, was it really a she-wolf, or was it just like an old-timey word for like a prostitute that we call a she-wolf or something? Could be.
Now they call them cougars.
Hey. Romulus, boom. From then on, no Roman emperor would ever again rule from a post in Italy. leading many to cite 476 as the year the Western Empire suffered its death blow. So, yeah, he just fucked them up so much that they were like, we're leaving!
That's crazy to think about.
Or more like the Vandals were like, you are leaving.
And then Byzantine was like, no,
you're fucking leaving.
No, you leaving.
They're like, what was that? Like Simpsons bit or something, like the blind dude gets his money out of the ATM, turns around, gets mugged, and then the mugger turns around, there's a cop, and then the cop turns around and like there's fucking Godzilla or some shit. It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
So they're like, ha, yeah, turn around. Fuck. Here you go.
I mean, isn't that history in a nutshell, really?
Somebody's always taking somebody's shit.
That's why when people are like, this was so-and-so's land, I'm like, for a time, sure, but then before that, whose land was it? And then before that, whose land was it? And then before that, whose land was it?
As they say, history is written by the victor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why we number one.
We number one. For better or worse, history is often written by the victor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. Excuse me.
Disgusting.
Nobody even heard anything. Okay.
Disgusting.
Nobody even heard it.
Oh, God.
Turn into a pterodactyl.
Fucking velociraptor over here. Doing your little mating call.
All right. So, reason number 2. There was economic troubles and an over-reliance on slave labor. So, even as Rome was under attack from outside forces, also crumbling from within, a lot of that corruption shit we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. The lower class probably doing the uprisings and stuff.
Yeah, not too happy. There was something I read, too, like they were saying when Rome started, it was a asylum city.
Mm-hmm.
Where basically it was a haven for thieves, fucking criminals of any kind, could just come and kind of like lay out, you know? And so they were taking like people from anywhere, making them citizens, whatever, welcome. Mm-hmm. And then as they got established, more and more refugees, which by the end of the empire is a lot of these barbarians that are getting pushed from other barbarian tribes into Roman land. And but now Rome's like, now you can come, but we're gonna exploit the shit out of you. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody, you're not a citizen, nothing. You're just gonna work your ass off.
Slaves.
Yep. Crumbling from within, thanks to a severe financial crisis, constant wars, and overspending.
Weird.
Weird.
Very, very familiar. I can't put my fucking finger on it though.
I don't want to say it, but I think it rhymes with Schmerica. Schmerica. Constant wars and overspending had significantly lightened imperial coffers. As they do. Wars are expensive, to say the least. I would imagine, would you think it'd be more expensive or less expensive than now? Because like
in regards to currency exchange and then also inflation type shit.
That and just thinking about like armies back then were just larger than they were today, right? Usually.
I wouldn't think so, actually. Reason being is because in today's day and age, we have armies of millions. Back in those days, they had
that's true.
Armies of thousands because population-wise, we couldn't really have that much of a force. But I would say that in regards to actual battles happening, there are far more people involved, far more lives lost within that amount of time, and comparatively percentage-wise, you know, of how many people lost and then your population, like you only have so many men.
Right.
It was back in those days, humans themselves were a limited resource. Today, it's almost like we have an abundance of humans, and people will be like, "Oh, we have so many humans," kind of just write them off type shit. Like that's how people would think.
Yep.
But back in those days, you didn't have that quote unquote luxury.
Right. Plus, standing armies back then were pretty rare. You didn't really have just like a standing military.
Yeah. No,
it was only like, when it was time to go, they're like, all right, you're in the army now. You're in the army now.
They pulled their people who were doing their pots, people who were cooks, chefs, people who were running the fucking whorehouses.
Anybody.
They pulled anyone off the street.
Conscription.
Literally off the street, probably.
Homeless. And as a homeless man, you'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, they probably were ecstatic. Oh, I get free food? It's
maybe.
Shitty food.
But in the army, they're like, maybe sometimes. I mean, yes.
So, but comparatively, I would say if you were to look percentage of people of that, or of the population that they had, maybe you can consider it being a lot more.
I think of it too, you know what I mean? Yeah, I hear you. I think of it too as more like you got to move these hundreds, thousands of people on foot. You know, probably moving shorter distance overall than if you would like get in a truck or a plane or something. But you still got to take all these people on foot and move them, and that's like weeks to months of depending where they're going.
That's a lot of resources, hundreds of miles. You have to feed them so that they can make it to the battlefield.
Feed them, clothe them.
And sometimes, like we said, the empire was massive. Yeah. You have to traverse, say if they're leaving from Rome, you have to traverse hundreds of miles to get to the battlefield that you're going to meet an army at.
And like hope you made it to the right spot.
Yeah. Otherwise, you miss them. Then they ransack a fucking village or they ransack a city, say, and you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably cost. I would dare to say it cost a lot more money back then than it does now, considering everything.
Different logistics.
Different,
maybe? Yeah. Yeah, well,
for us, it takes a couple hours to get to a place.
Right. And if we're in the wrong, we can go, hey, is this the right place?
Yeah.
But Romans had to go, shit. I think this is the right spot. Does anybody have a map? No.
I got a map, but I don't know if it's accurate from, a couple months ago.
Some guy gave it to me. Who knows,
Yeah.
Who fucking knows?
I would dare to say it costs more.
Crazy to think about that. Like, they just did that shit. Damn. All right, so and also on top of that war, stripping the money from the empire, oppressive taxation and inflation had the wage gap, which is
really weird.
Similar, yeah. The wage gap just grew, fucking exponentially so much. So, yeah, and in the hope of avoiding the tax man, many members of the wealthy classes even fled to the countryside and just set up their own little independent fiefdoms. Just for like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go start my own little hangout spot out on the outskirts somewhere.
I'm not gonna lie. There's been some people I've heard talking about wanting to do that. Not necessarily starting their own city or anything, but they do want to start their own little community, own little town,
getting like a commune going,
and almost off the grid type shit.
I mean, I love.
That's why people want to buy land,
right? I love the sound of shit like that, like getting like a few people,
But that startup's gonna be hard.
Definitely, getting like a few people, just getting a little commune, compound, whatever the fuck going. I love the idea of that, but yeah, you said it's in practice difficult. Because everybody's doing something. There's nobody fucking like, nah.
Yeah.
Not working today.
But it's also considered like it just depends on the people that you know. There could be some people that are just dummy smart with that shit.
Yep.
And they'll go in and be like, have a plan A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. And they'll figure it out, and maybe it might be easy. Who knows? But you have to know people. You have to communicate and really think about who you'd want in your community.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. Anyway, so let's finish up this number 2, and then I'll go into a little bit of Caesar, or maybe I'll cover one more of these. I'll try to just go through them, not too long. So at the same time as this, we're still on the economic troubles and point number 2. So phone battery 20%. Thanks. At the same time, the empire was rocked by a labor deficit. Rome's its economy depended on slaves to till its fields and work as craftsmen, and its military might had traditionally provided a fresh influx of conquered peoples to put to work. So that was the thing, too. Whoever they conquered, hey, join the army. Come on. Your shit's our stuff. Come on, help us.
Yeah.
So
that is one thing we don't deal with, is we're not over here conquering people.
No. We don't do that anymore.
Hopefully.
That we're aware of. But when expansion ground to a halt in the 2nd century, Rome's supply of slaves and other war treasures began to dry up. A further blow came in the 5th century when the Vandals, it's fucking Vandals again, when they claimed North Africa. You said something about North Africa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When they claimed North Africa and began disrupting the empire's trade by prowling the Mediterranean as pirates. Yeah, with its
first pirates.
Yeah, pirates been around a long time.
Yarr!
Except then they were like,
take it. And they didn't have cannons either. They were pretty just.
So there's like throwing a spear at him or something.
Loose.
Or like playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and such, seeing ancient Greece, how they did it. Mostly just rammed other ships.
Yeah.
There was no real.
They would build their ships up in order to be an actual weapon itself.
Yeah, and have a big fuck off ram thing in front.
Made of iron.
They also totally sidetracked ancient Greece. They also had like fucking flamethrowers mounted on the ships, basically. They made this big dumb fucking spout thing that they could like maneuver on the front. Like prow of the ship, and could basically just spit fire on ships, but it would also tend to sometimes light their own ship on fire.
Yeah, that seems very impractical for a wooden ship.
But when it worked, it fucking worked, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, is that a dragon ship?"
Oh my god, a dragon inside their ship.
Holy fuck! Turn the ship around. Let's go home. These guys aren't fucking around anymore. All right, so North Africa. But as pirates, with its economy faltering and its commercial and agricultural production in decline, the empire began to lose its grip on Europe. Mm-hmm. So they had it. Fucking. And then those Vandals. Those goddamn Vandals vandalizing.
I mean, it was like we said about the corruption stuff, man. A lot of it is scary similar to certain things that are happening in today's day and age.
Yeah.
That not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that are aware of it, but for some reason they think it's one side or the other.
Right.
And I'm like, no, it's the system itself. That's what's the issue. That's what we're dealing with. And hearing about it in regards to ancient Roman standard, you're like,
damn,
that's scary. That's why we were talking about the fall of America in regards to what we fucking know of it today. You know, there might be a point within the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years where we pull all our military back and we downsize our military because we're like, we can't resourcefully keep them out there anymore.
I mean, there has to come a time where we eventually stop playing Team America World Police and just
Team America.
Yeah. I mean, like, it might sound insensitive because, like, you know, I feel for these people if that, you know, say this whole Israel-Palestine thing that's going on right now. Like, I feel for them, but like, and like people are like protesting and stuff, but I'm like,
it's not our job.
What do you want us to do?
It's not our job.
Yeah.
That it's funny because they don't want us to be world police, but they want us to help.
But then they do.
In foreign affairs, it's like that's not our job.
Yeah.
We can provide humanitarian stuff, and that's it. And nothing else. Just give them food or whatever, water, things that whatever needs over there. But that's not our job to police them.
Right.
It's not our job to police any of these other
world. That's why it's like confusing. Because like I said, like I feel for them. Like people are like, "Oh, you don't care about Israel Palestine?" Of course I do. That's terrible. What's happening to these people?
I care about people in general, but I also understand systems.
But yeah, like my main point being, what do you want us to do? You either want us to do all the stuff or none of the stuff. There's not, what do you actually?
This tug of war match is not gonna work.
What are we actually supposed to do? Like, tell me. Mm-hmm. I'd love to help, but what are we supposed to do? When, like, look at us, how much debt we're in. We talked about and all that shit.
Yeah. Also, meanwhile, our fucking country's on fire, pretty much. Well, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
We're on fire. Inflation, homelessness, border crisis, agricultural issues because of climate things and whatever. Not like we have our own issues, and typically when you do soul searching, you work on yourself before you can go and help others. And that's what America needs to do. That's what Rome didn't do, and that's why they eventually fell.
Dummies.
Fucking
stupid idiots.
Yeah, how come they didn't know about soul searching? Stupid dum-dums.
Nobody told them about that. Talking to the Oracle all this time.
I thought they were the eternal Roman Empire.
So let's see. Let's go over this real quick. Number 3 being the rise of the Eastern Empire. So the fate of Western Rome was partially sealed in the late 3rd century when Emperor Diocletian, heard of him, divided the empire 2 halves, west and east. The Western Empire seated in the city of Milan. The Eastern Empire in Byzantium, later known as Constantinople. Now it's not Constantinople either. It's...
Oh, fuck.
It's changed names a few times. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
How do you spell Constantinople?
Constantinople.
Yes. What did Constantinople turn into? Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, was later conquered by the Ottoman Turks in 1453 and renamed Istanbul.
Got it. Boom.
And it then became the capital of the Ottoman Empire until the establishment of the Republic of Turkey in 1923, when Ankara became the new capital.
Yeah, the Ottomans, those motherfuckers did some shit too.
So, basically, Turkey, I guess.
Good enough. I just think of
So that was the capital of the Eastern Empire.
I just think of Assassin's Creed Revelations when Ezio is in Constantinople and he calls it Constantinople.
Constantinople.
Like, come on, Ezio, get the fuck out of there. This division made the empire more easily governable in the short term.
Yeah. Apparently so.
Yeah. But over time, the 2 halves started to drift apart. East and West failed to adequately work together to combat outside threats, and the 2 often squabbled over resources and military aid. I'm the real Rome. No, I'm the real Rome. I'm dead.
Which is weird considering that, Rome obviously originated from Europe and then went over to the Middle East. So the fact that they're like, I'm the real Rome, it's like, but you're not, though.
Rome is literally right there.
You had to come from here in order to get to there.
Yeah, Rome is literally right there on the map. Roma, there it is. You're way the fuck over here.
Yeah.
All right. So as this widened, the largely Greek-speaking Eastern Empire grew in wealth, while the Latin-speaking West descended into an economic crisis. As we said, West fell way before East did. Most importantly, the strength of the Eastern Empire served to divert barbarian invasions to the West. So they were just like, send them that way.
They had just people going over there with detour signs, just that way.
The barbarians are marching up, and there's like dudes in like reflective vests. Can't come this way. Can't come this way, bud.
It's that way. They're all. Oh.
Okay. Guess we'll go west. It's so funny. The Eastern Empire, Southern Moon. Whoa, shit! That way.
Not us. We don't know them.
Oh, that's fucking that guy. Emperors like Constantine. Heard of him?
Yeah, he's the guy that battles supernatural people.
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves.
So Keanu Reeves ensured that that the city of Constantinople was fortified and well guarded, but Italy and the city of Rome, which only had symbolic value for many in the East,
Okay,
were left vulnerable. The Western political structure would finally disintegrate in the 5th century, but the Eastern Empire endured in some form or another for 1,000 years before being overwhelmed by the Ottomans in the 1400s, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Bada bing.
Damn.
Bada bing.
1,000 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's not even like the main empire.
Can't believe that America's not gonna let. No.
All right, I'll do point number 4 real quick. I'll just get halfway through these, and then we'll do a fun little story about Caesar.
Okay,
it's a good story. So number 4 is overexpansion and military overspending. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Euphrates River in the Middle East. But its grandeur may have also been its downfall. With such vast territory to govern, the empire faced an administrative and logistical nightmare. I can fucking imagine. We talked a little bit about that. Even with their excellent road systems, we all know Rome make good fucking roads.
Yeah, the brick ones.
There's something.
The ones that still stand to this day.
Yeah,
I've walked them. Dude, you know what's crazy? Side note, because I lived in Italy for 3.5 years. When I went and visited Rome, I went into this weird trance where I started spacing out a lot, and I started imagining ancient Romans just walking the streets of this city, and I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Really puts it into perspective, huh?
Dude. It was fucking crazy to think. It was the same thing when I went to Normandy. I sat on those beaches, and I was just like,
"Yeah, I bet."
Wow, it was heavy.
They're
heavy, like in your chest. You felt just like tightness.
I bet the energy there is fucking strong,
dude. Intense.
I bet. There's I forgot like what percentage, but there's a statistic of like a percentage amount of the sand on the beaches of Normandy is just shrapnel.
I wouldn't doubt it. It would be hard for it to really wash away. Those beaches are really shallow, and literally miles of just like flat beach. And then when it's high tide, it literally just covers the entirety of the beach.
Yep. You know what I read about D-Day, or watched? I think I watched a video. A historian talking about it. He's like, we got fucking lucky on D-Day. Like they didn't expect us to come that way, and we did. And if they did expect us to come that way, there's no way we'd have fucking made it. We'd have fucking made it. We caught like the reserve troops like under equipped, just hanging out, and they're like, oh shit. Those fucking Yanks are coming.
Because the way they had planned it is they had invaded 5 different beaches.
Yep.
6, I think, technically.
Utah, Omaha, Sword,
Juneau.
Fucking.
I can't remember the last
one. The
one
we were just.
That's why I said like technically.
Yeah. Normandy, that one we were talking about.
But yeah, it was just.
Yeah.
Being in Rome, in that area, just thinking about walking those streets, and like I said, those streets are to this day in really good condition.
It's ridiculous.
Fucking 2,000 years later, pretty much.
It's fucking crazy.
Or like close to.
Scientists apparently just now are pretty sure they figured out how Romans like made the concrete because they're
limestone.
Yeah, there's like limestone shit like in the concrete because like when they look at the concrete, there's white bits here like throughout.
Self-regenerating.
Yeah, so they're like it's terribly expensive to make it like that. So we're probably not just gonna start doing it, but it's cool that we know how they did it because their shit like holds.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Obviously, they're fucking tourist attractions now.
Yeah, we can still look at the Coliseum like wow, outrageous.
Yeah, sorry, sidetrack.
That's all right. That's what we're here for.
The roads. All
right. So, Rome struggled. They struggled to marshal enough troops and resources to defend its frontiers from local rebellions. Talk about them.
The uprisings and stuff.
Uprisings and outside attacks. Barbarians always attacking. And by the 2nd century, the Emperor Hadrian's Wall.
Remind me what that is.
The wall?
Yeah.
So he built his famous wall in Britain just to keep the enemy at bay. How far was his wall? I know it's like it's one of those like fitness challenges now. Like I ran the wall.
Definitely not the Great Wall of China.
No. I saw it. Funny you said that. I saw a picture today. They're like, this is the end of the Great Wall of China, and it was just like a tower like in the water, and they're like, why didn't those guys just get in a boat and?
Well, I mean, yes, but then
it was so fucking far away. So
yeah.
They're like, why didn't those silly little barbarians just...
Literally, the Mongols they couldn't really, that's a big task.
How long was Hadrian's Wall? 73 miles. It crossed
right,
northern Britain from Wallsend on the River Tyne in the east to Bowness on Solway in the west. I'm sorry.
Close to 3 marathons.
Yeah, that's
almost 3 marathons worth of wall.
Yeah, it's like one of those fitness challenges I see now. There's like medals. I ran Hadrian's Wall or the wall, whatever.
Good for you. I'm not doing it.
Fuck that. So yeah, he built that. But as more funds were funneled into the military upkeep of the empire, technological advancement slowed. Rome's civil infrastructure started falling into disrepair. Just like that.
Okay.
And that is half of the 8 reasons why Rome fell.
4 out of 8.
4 out of 8. I'll come back with some more next week.
Yeah.
So let's get into Caesar.
Caesar.
Fun story about our boy dressing. Whatever. That's all I got. That's all I got. Dressing.
Salad.
Funny story about our boy Salad. Get a load of leafy greens over here. So fun story about Caesar. When he was in his early 20s, probably stop. I would say stop me if you heard this before, but don't. In his early 20s, he got kidnapped by some Cilician.
I've heard this before.
You might have. Did you?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to stop you.
Fucker. I said, don't do that. Got stopped by some Cilician pirates who wanted to ransom him for 20 talents. Talents? I've heard it talents and talons, so whatever.
I think talons.
20 talents of silver. When Caesar hears this amount, he straight up fucking just laughs at him.
Like, that's not even...
Like, bro, ask for more.
Yeah.
He laughs at him and says they should ask for 50 talents instead.
Mm-hmm.
The pirates keep him around for just sheer entertainment. He plays games with them. He tells them stories. And sometimes even fucking writes poems and speeches for them. Sometimes they would joke about how bad his speeches were. And Caesar just would respond by saying that when he gets free, he's going to come back and crucify every last one of them.
My God.
And they just laugh like, this guy is a funny guy. And Caesar's like, yeah.
Pretty hilarious.
You like that joke, huh? Okay. Just get me back to Rome, bro. It's all good. It's all good.
Take your 50 talents.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to get those back too.
So he's just like boys kind of hanging out with them a little bit, but then he's like, I'm going to fucking crucify all of you if I get a chance.
Wow.
Savage.
Talk about a fucking vendetta.
He's, bro.
Just one moment.
So they eventually, he's going to make good on that promise. Oh, they eventually get their ransom money. So they drop him off, get the ransom money, turn around, leave. Caesar immediately hops on a ship and is like, after those motherfuckers. He fucking catches them. Gets them with a bunch of ships, arrests all of them, fucking just casually taking, and then as he arrests them, casually takes his 50 talents back. He's like, I'll take that.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Takes his money back. He brought these pirates to the provincial governor. Governor didn't seem to care so much. So Caesar kept his word and fucking crucified all of them. He brought them and was like, hey, these guys kidnapped me and ransomed me. What do you want to do about it? He was like, nothing. Caesar's like, okay. Turn to them.
Man, oh man.
Fun story about Caesar.
When was Julius Caesar's lifespan again?
How long?
What years?
Let's double check.
Because I don't recall if he could have told us about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I don't think he did.
No, I think he was after.
He was born.
He was definitely after.
Phone's all streaky. He was born July 12th, 100 BC. Died March 15th, 44 BC. 55.
Oh, he was before?
Yeah, well. Damn.
Wait a minute.
Well,
he said born 100 BC and then died 54?
Yeah.
Damn, he was only 46.
50, it says he was 55. Age 55 at the Theater of Pompeii.
Yeah,
when he was
like
the Ides of March. Stabbed to death. Cause of death, assassination, in parentheses, stab wounds. That just cracked me up.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. He got the shit stabbed out of him. There's like this.
Oh, definitely got the shit stabbed out of him.
There's stories about like accounts of everyone who stabbed him and how like frenzied the people were stabbing him that they're stabbing each other.
I've heard about that too. They're
like one of them
viciously, wildly.
They're like stabbing each other in the arms and shit. They're like, "What the fuck? Wrong guy." But there's literally one target. What are you doing?
But there's like 12 of them.
Yeah, but there's all of them trying to get their licks in. You know, they stab the shit.
I mean, you gotta imagine like 4 or 5 people can stand around one person, and that's already like a lot.
Yeah, they stab the shit out of
I'm imagining, say, a mugging. Some 5 people are kicking some dude. Like, they're gonna get their licks in, but that's 5 people. That's still a lot.
Yeah.
12? Yeah, I can imagine them fucking each other up.
And these are like guys who are like, maybe not all, but these are guys who are mostly maybe not militarily trained. They're like, get him!
They're not as precise with their movements. Yeah, right.
We got him, boys. And they're like,
I got you. Start cutting each other up.
And he's like, it's me, stop! Oh.
It reminds me of that Family Guy episode where it is such, fucking stupid humor, but they talked about how everyone got along before Christ was born. And they're just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, John, how's it going? Hey, did you guys hear about this kid being born in Bethlehem? Ah! And they started stabbing each other until they all died. I was like,
this kid being born in Bethlehem, get him, motherfucker.
I was like, that's such bad humor.
All right. I got a few more things we could cover about Caesar to wrap this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's this theory Roman culture had called nobilitas. It was a theory that you can inherit excellence from like your parents and such. Your parents was like a wealthy, well-to-do, general, politician, whatever. You could just inherit that excellence from them, but you have to actually do some significant shit in your life for it to mean anything. So you can inherit excellence, but you're not excellent by default.
Right.
So Caesar's one of his biggest problems was that his father
had a stupid haircut. No,
they all did. Was that his dad was never consul, so he never had any nobilitas to really inherit.
Oh, so his dad fucked him up.
So his whole primary goal was to confirm his nobilitas by being consul himself. Which he does.
Yeah, I was gonna say he did quite a lot.
But so he, in order to confirm his nobilitas, he strikes a deal with 2 other very prominent Romans you may have heard of. Crassus. I should have got their full names, but I didn't. I could look it up real quick, but Crassus, being the richest man in Rome, we see him in Spartacus and shit. He's the one, I think.
I've never seen Spartacus, but
oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, bro, you'd love it. Great fucking show.
Is that one on HBO? I feel like I've seen it somewhere on a streaming service. I just don't know.
I know when it came out, I think it was like one of those Stars or Showtime shows, so something like that. Great show, though. So sad, though. I forgot the actor's name who played Spartacus in season 1. But I remember watching that with a buddy of mine in El Paso. We just marathon like 3 seasons right away. First season, great. Second season was like a flashback season. I forgot his name to it. One of the gladiators who actually fought his freedom and got his little fucking wooden sword, Yeah. And then the third season...
Are you not entertained?
Right. The third season comes back to Spartacus, and it's a totally different actor. You'd know him if you saw him. I can't think of his name. But I was like, yo, what happened to Spartacus? I think his name is Anthony something. I was like, I really fucking like that guy.
Did he die?
And he was like, yeah, he died of cancer between seasons 1 and 2. That's why season 2 was a flashback. And I was like...
Damn, that sucks.
The guy who plays Spartacus in the rest of the show is good. Like I said, the guy. Yeah. You've seen him and stuff, but it's like that first guy was so fucking perfect.
Right.
Ugh.
I mean,
too soon.
Chadwick Boseman was a perfect Black Panther, and
he was.
Unfortunately, cancer does not give a fuck.
Cancer does not discriminate. One time you wish it might.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, to Crassus, the richest man in Rome, and Pompey, or Pompey, as I heard it pronounced both ways, Rome's most accomplished general.
I would like to say Pompey, because Pompey sounds stupid as fuck.
It does.
Pompey.
Hey,
Pompey.
So here I come.
Yeah, I'm here.
Everybody. So yeah, the richest man in Rome matched with the most accomplished general in Rome and Caesar. They form this thing you might have heard of called the First Triumvirate. Just them 3 working together, making shit what they want happen. Yeah. So
The first Illuminati.
I suppose you can think of it like that.
Well, there's 3 of them.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, they knew.
Take it back.
They're still alive.
Fuck.
Did anyone see him get stabbed? Oh my god.
So after this, they, like I said, they're just working together, making shit what they want to happen. Pompey marries Caesar's daughter. Crassus bribes Caesar's way into the consulship in 59 BC. Caesar, in that time, Caesar's just passing whatever laws the triumvirate wants.
Yeah.
And for now, life is good.
Is it good? Is it really good?
Yeah, it is good.
Okay.
For now.
For now.
For now. And that is where I'm going to leave us with Caesar in Rome.
Man, oh man. Exciting stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wild to think about. Like, it's so fucking long ago, but like, just people. I don't know. It's just
it's a recurring history that a lot of people forget about. You have to think, children nowadays, also kind of teachers in a way, aren't taking education seriously enough to be teaching kids about these types of histories, the world histories. We're taught American history, of course,
right.
But how much do we know about world history and things that have gone on before our country was even a thing?
Yeah. Let
alone even a thought.
Right. Like we said before, we're still the young bucks in this game of being a nation.
So young.
So
and even looking into the Western Empire, I mean, in its young age, comparably.
That just went off.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay.
That's just the screen.
Okay, I got nervous for a minute.
No, you're fine. The camera's still recording. So
good.
But to think about the Western Empire in their young, comparably, they were also falling apart at a very early stage within their existence.
Yeah. Because when they started, it was very easy to keep it running. There was a video I watched. A guy kind of described it in a kind of funny way. He was like, yeah, like in the beginning, these rulers had this all laid out. They're like, hey, this is really hard to fuck up if you just follow these rules. Mm-hmm. And then everyone was like, you fucked it.
You had one job. Just follow the rules.
We got these systems in place, and it's going to be really hard. You have to try to fuck this up. So just follow these rules.
You said try to fuck it up?
Oh, fuck.
I got you, boss. Don't worry about it.
It's like those 2 guards in Monty Python, the Holy Grail, you know? You 2 stay here and make sure he doesn't leave. Right. Starts to leave, and they just start going with him. He's like, what are you doing? No, we're going with you.
They should have been more like the Black Knight. None shall pass.
When they made the Black Knight, they forgot to put the quid in him. That's for sure. I'll bite your bloody legs off.
I'm invincible.
It's just a flesh wound. Your bloody arm's off. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Just the nonchalant. No, it isn't.
I think my favorite part of that is just when Arthur fucking takes off both his arms and just bing, a boot in the helmet.
Dude, that's just you're a loony.
God damn it. That's a good way to end the episode. Just fucking quote Monty Python.
Can't do wrong with Monty Python.
Never.
That was so funny.
Never.
Anyways, that does it for part 1 of the fall of Rome / Julius Caesar. All that good jazz. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Matt's entertainment, his class today. I was being somewhat of a good student, just interjections a little bit here and there.
That's how we like it.
Only had one issue with the pencil sharpener, but it's all right. I'll bring it next week.
All things considered, could have been worse.
Yeah, definitely could have been worse.
Could have been one of those people who showed up to school and be like, all right, everybody get out a pen and paper. I'll have paper. And then the teacher comes up and goes, hey, am I boring you?
No, I was paying attention.
Fuck up.
What? They're like, I was paying attention. They got the fucking earbuds in their ears.
Or the ones that we always see the kids have it up through their sleeve and just...
Totally was me.
Did you do that?
Totally was me. I'd just be sitting there. How come every time I go around? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully you look forward to next week where we find out the rest of the reasons of why the fall of Rome even happened.
More about Caesar.
And more about Caesar.
Much more to learn about him. All of it.
Yeah. So, thank you.
And I'd definitely be down for more history specials.
History podcast by Matt.
Heyo. It's been a thought.
Yeah.
I've been churning for a while. I just don't know exactly how I want to do it.
I told Matt that if he does do it, he has to hire me.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm not just going to have you do it for free. That'd be shitty.
But, yeah. But you'd have to get a fucking separate social, what's it called? Media manager. I'm not good at that shit at all.
Yeah, and clearly I'm not, because I'm like, I don't know how to log into this Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like an 80-year-old man. I'm like, I don't know. It's not working.
Yeah.
Guess it's broken.
Back to my game.
Looks like I tried.
So thank you once again for tuning in to Big Effin Nerds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check out all the links in the bio. Also check out the link to donate to this week's episode or just the podcast in general. It would really help us out for future episodes.
Yeah. Unlike the Romans, we will use that money to better the podcast and not just line our own fucking pockets.
Which I would like to better the podcast. It's fun doing this stuff, fun talking about nerdy shit, history, things of that nature. So,
yeah. Want to do it for a while longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So otherwise, you guys already know what's coming next week.
Mm-hmm.
More of this.
Part two.
More Rome, more Caesar. It's going to be great.
More death, more goths. More
goths.
Metal, give us your fucking pizza.
Give me your pasta. Give me the penne right now.
You know, after you had said all that too, I was definitely like, I could not get the image of like goth kids, just like, especially like the kids from fucking South Park, just like dancing back and forth,
dancing underneath the bridge, just fucking the overpass, fucking
turning back and forth. The one kid like. I could not get that out of my head. I was like, oh my God, please stop.
Give me the lasagna right now.
Oh my God.
Put the lasagna in the bag. All right, that's enough. Anyway, I would say bring your togas, but they didn't wear those all that often.
Yeah, not all of them. Only like the Richie Rich.
Very ceremonial garb, and they were stupid long and hard to make. So anyway,
Yeah.
But for the sake of all that, bring your toga, bring your wine, bring your fucking Caesar wreath thing.
Yeah, cut your hair just like Caesar.
Cut your hair, get fucking, the Jerry curl shit, whatever. Fucking whatever they had, cut hella short. Bring all that shit. Bring your brain. Bring your ass with you. And don't forget to bring a notebook and paper and a fucking Sharpie. Okay, all right.
Okay, I'll do it. I swear.
All right. I don't want to tell you again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyway, later, taters.
And two.